based ass conversation. Stream it. Exploit those people. I might have to take a second out of the conversation if a little one comes down to show me what he's working on. Oh, maybe not. Oh, I'm so confused. How it... Oh, is there another way? Oh, does he want to pull me into the room? Oh, I can pull him into my room. Oh, shit. Haha. Totally forgot I have a personal room for this kind of shit.
I'm like, wait a second.
I'm not used to having not used to using my Discord, so.
Gotcha. I need to turn everything down. Hold on. It's on my end.
Okay. Just ask how does he sound? Mike, how does he sound on our end? Does he sound okay?
Can you hear my fan by chance?
I can't. And I'm going to assume if I can't, they can't as well.
Yeah, it shouldn't pick it up then.
All right, based.
Discord's noise cancellation is actually really good. That's why most people use it for voice, even if they have a video program.
Yeah, well, I've never used any of the other ones. Like I've never used like the Whereby or anything. Yeah.
The reason why people use the Whereby is because you can rearrange everybody in the way that you want it.
Oh, okay.
It's cheap. Like it's like $10 a month or something. And you can customize the background if you pay for it.
Oh,
so that's why people use Whereby. But I don't like Whereby.
Oh, that's
I think because the audio is crap, and I
Mm.
think if you're going to do something like that, you should just pay for better stuff.
Yeah.
Especially if you're making any kind of money on Twitch. Like even if it's
No
just
shit.
$100, like even if you're just making like $100 a year or something on Twitch, and you wanna be like a panel presenter or something, you should pay for something a little better.
Well, yeah, ideally
But
the first
no
little
one
bit of your
cares.
money. Yeah, well, that's the thing too, right? Is like not putting back into your show is kind of silly. You would think for the first little bit until you grow to a sufficient size, you would always be pumping that money back into your show. But
yeah, are we going to be using camera?
that's up to you if you want to. If not, I don't mind. I don't normally have conversations with camera, so.
Oh, okay. Are you streaming this?
Yeah. Is that okay?
Okay. Yeah, no, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Let me get onto your stream so you get my view from it.
If you want to pull up your camera, I definitely will. I won't say no. Oh, there you are.
I have it up. Yeah.
Perfect. I have to get. Man, I remember there's
Oh,
yes, the camera. Okay, I'll put the camera on, Mike.
okay.
There's an app. I can't remember the name of it that you can basically use the same camera for everything.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know what that app is. I'm using my cell phone. So
Really? That's your cell phone?
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's really clear.
So, let's see. I have a three-point light set up in my office, but it's all cheap. Like I cheaped out of everything. So I took a cake pan from like the Dollar Tree that was silver and bought what was it? Daylight grade LED lights from Amazon. It was like $10 for a roll.
Okay.
And then used that roll and taped them into the cake pan. And then put butcher paper over it to dim it.
Wow, that's actually really smart. It looks really good. It honestly looks like professional lighting.
And then the other day I found a like cheap ass ring light.
Yeah.
From a yard sale for like $5.
Oh,
and so I have that in front of me, and that's what I look like with it off, and it makes it pop a little bit.
Yeah, it does.
It's not big enough, but it was only $5, so whatever.
That's pretty good for a starting stream. I know I've heard people spend a lot more than that on a little thing. I don't really see much of a point to like. I'll probably replace the ring light at some point because it does help, but I don't see a need for me replacing my cake pan light, or I just have like a regular like work light that I put on top of my green screen and have that pointed down a little bit for the hair light. Oh shit, and that's a green screen behind you. Oh yeah, I can see it now. Yeah. The ridges, yeah. Man, some of the green screens are really good nowadays. You can do a really good job.
Does it have ridges? Oh yeah, it does. I don't have it pulled taut.
Yeah, just barely. I can see it just around your chair. I can see the little bit of the in and outs.
Yeah, it's because of the fan. I don't have it taught, so because I don't care enough, honestly. But if I didn't have a green screen up, you would just see a white wall, and that's boring.
Oh, okay.
Like what's on the green screen is actually in front of me.
Oh, interesting. Oh, so you've just projected it back behind you. Oh,
Yeah.
awesome. That's dope as fuck. Well, do you want to start or do you want me to start?
You can go ahead and start off with the topic, tell people what it is and all that jazz, and then we can talk about it from there.
Okay, so we're gonna be talking about is kind of streaming like exploitative. I think you're taking the position that it's not exploitative or it's minimally. Is your stance that it's not exploitative at all, or it's just very minimally exploitative?
I would say that it's minimally, if at all, and it's basically depends on the circumstance.
Okay.
Because I'm not going to say that people can't use streaming to exploit other people or their viewers for money or cash or anything, but I don't think that's what the majority of people do. And if we talk about that existing, those are going to be mostly, in my opinion, edge cases.
Okay. Interesting. Do you think that's on the platform at whole, or do you think like certain maybe we'll just do it this way, because I had an opening statement prepared, but I think this is probably a better way to go about it. Yeah. Do you think that like it's kind of like relegated to certain kind of like subcategories throughout the Twitch platform where it's like more exploitative than others?
I would say it depends on how the person is streaming. So if a person is a known grifter and you can 100% prove that they're grifting, then they are exploiting their viewers for cash, because they're lying to their viewers, and their viewers ostensibly believe that they are taking the position that they have, that their position is actually true and valid, and therefore are providing money to somebody that has a true and valid position, but it is in actuality not holding that stance. And then there's the other case where you have people, and this can be scammed anywhere, right? Mm-hmm. So you have people that are like, oh, baby, I love you, right? And then using that to get money out of people, or just, kind of preying on people that are emotionally vulnerable. It doesn't matter what gender the person is. This can happen to everybody and by anybody. And if you're doing that and that's how you're getting your money, is by just being like kind of, I guess, nice to people and being conversational, and you're not in a position of like you're a psychologist or some sort, then that's probably exploitative as well.
Okay.
But I don't think that's what most people on Twitch are doing.
What would, now I guess, like I'll ask the first few questions and then you can ask, because I'm trying to kind of understand where you're coming from. Do you have like, sure, what would be your like definition of like exploitative? What do you kind of like, what do you think of when you hear that word?
It can be so manipulation of an individual in order for personal gain. But it has to be actual manipulation. You can't just be like, hey guys, I like streaming video games and I'm playing this, come watch me, and then people give you a ton of money for that. Like, that's not exploitation, because you're not like manipulating them into doing anything. Even if a person's like selling really hard, be like, hey, I need sub me, like, I'm not going to put out names out there, but we all know people that shill for subs. But that's not exploitation. Now, if you go in and you do that and you lie and say, oh, I'm going to be homeless, and you're serious, you're like, sound serious about it. If I don't get like $500 today, I'm going to be homeless, and that isn't true, then you're manipulating people to give you money, lying to them, and that would be exploitation, because you're preying on the generosity of other people.
Okay, directly. so like
in a lie.
So like it. So is that intent super important to you? Like that kind of like malicious aspect to it important for the exploitative nature? I would
say it is. Yeah, for this I would say it is.
For this,
for streaming particularly, I would say like it isn't like a person doesn't have to intend to exploit their workers, but if they're doing it, then that's still exploitation. But in this kind of context where everybody is just kind of streaming basically and putting their content out there, I can't see any inadvertent exploitation that would be harmful enough to care about, if that makes sense.
What do you think about like the Twitch politics scene taking people's like daily life drama and making like exorbitant content about it.
I hate it. I don't like drama farming.
Do you think something like drama farming would be like exploitative?
Okay, so this is a good gotcha, but no.
Okay.
At least not in a negative sense, and the reason being is because it is easy for anybody in particular to turn that shit off and not go down the drama hole, and people don't, because that's actually what they're interested in. They want to be, for lack of a better way to phrase this, back in high school where they're like part of a clique and everybody hates like the one person, but everybody loves the popular girl or popular dude, and they want the parasocial relationships.
Mm-hmm.
That's what people want, and so you can't say that's exploitation if people are willingly going around and doing this, even if they don't know that's what they're doing, like, because that's just basically human nature and how people operate, like, even in real life, kind of.
Yeah.
It's a smaller scale in real life.
Would you consider like a drug user selling his clientele drugs that he knows is bad for them exploitative?
I consider a drug dealer
selling like crack cocaine to like somebody that he knows has like a crack cocaine addiction, knowing full well that those drugs are bad for them.
Okay, I see where this is going.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
But I don't. Okay, so to cut it off at the pass a little bit, just so we can get to it. You're gonna the likely thing you're going for is that social media is addictive, and people exploiting that addiction of social media is inherently exploitative, and that is wrong, right? Is that where this is going?
It to some degree, yes, but my other degree is like sometimes giving people what they want isn't always the best for them. And if you know that's going to bring in like views and subs, even though you know it's not the best content that they could partake in, I would call that probably exploitative, because you're exploiting people's, like, the people or the situation to benefit from it unfairly, right? Because like realistically, drama farming for a lot of people is like really bad. We know people are going to engage in it. It's super fucking toxic to both like streamers and chatters. But other streamers will use it to like benefit selfishly from it. Sure. Yeah. Kind of in the same way, like a drug dealer knows that like those drugs are bad for those people, but he wants to benefit like either monetarily, usually monetarily from that transaction.
Right.
Yeah. To his own betterment, right? And to the detriment of others.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. I think there is overlap between your example and what can go on on Twitch. At least within Twitch politics, because Twitch politics is really Twitch drama with politics on the side, for the most part. So I do see there is some overlap, but I don't see the same nearly, like, it's infinitesimally smaller level of harm that happens, unless, and this is a case by case basis, unless it's something similar to what happened between Prime, Dylan, Cat, etc. All the people that got rolled up into that. And that is harmful directly to the individuals involved. I'm not sure it's harmful, or at least enough to necessarily care about, to others that watched it. Because it was a learning lesson for many of the people that were watching it. Because a lot of the people that were watching it are either teenagers or young adults, people that haven't had much experience.
Well, and I mean,
in the real life.
Yeah, and like Ali brings up a good point, like the drama that like Wreckful was involved in, right? Like that whole, I don't know that whole situation, but from my understanding, like all that drama and like the repeated like bringing it up is kind of what also led to his like mental health issues and eventually his death, right? Like I think it's safe to realize that
to be honest with you, I don't know this particular case.
Yeah, I can't speak to it fully, but I know there was like, I know he had a ton of mental health issues, and I don't know if it was like straight from streaming, but I can only like, I mean, I think we can also talk about the fact that like being a streamer does come with it a lot of like toxic aspects, like other communities kind of being toxic towards you in the form of either like hate or constant harassment, because these communities are so, I don't know the word I want to use. Not like, not click. No, I'll use the word clicky. They are pretty clicky. You can see this in the form of like VGG or DGG, how they will constantly go at each other's throats, right? And other streamers sometimes. But and sometimes I don't want to focus on one sole creator, because I do think it's, like you said, I do think it's just a larger problem, and definitely the Twitch politics scene, as well as the rest of the platform. I could give you other examples that I think it's kind of exploitative, and we could discuss those if you wanted, or if you want to stick on this one.
No, I'm being easy with this. I think. Now, is that really so? With this particular case, was that exploitative, or was that the consequences of hyper online people being hyper online people for that particular case?
For Wreckful?
Like for Wreckful, or we'll say the drama between Destiny and Vosh, or what have you, because it seems to me that this is, like you said, this is more cliquish and not necessarily exploitation. I think those are two separate things. I think you can have toxicity without there being exploitation, and vice versa.
But I guess the question would be like, do you think a lot of the clickiness farms a lot of the drama that the users or the streamers then use to make content, in the form of like discussions like these, or debates, or like Twitter followings and things like that, like to bring other people to like their platform? Like, do you think that that's kind of an aspect at all, or?
I do think it's an aspect, but again, I can't call it necessarily exploitation unless there is some sort of, maybe not even malevolent, but like grifty kind of thing behind it. So, for example, let's say streamer Jim and streamer John, Jim and John are going to create the Jimmy John's extravaganza beatdown thing.
Okay.
They want to have a giant debate where everybody comes down and like watches it, right?
Yeah.
So they purposefully get into a beef, like a rap battle kind of thing, like where people, like rappers, get into beefs in order to drum up things, right?
Yeah.
That would be exploitative. If that is happening, where the two people are agreeing to like, we're gonna get our communities to like hate each other a little bit, and then we're gonna go at it, and it's gonna cause a lot of content, and people are gonna watch us. That would be exploitive, because they're lying to everybody. Like that's the thing. It has to have that kind of untruthfulness, I guess, or that.
So I guess I'm curious, because like what, like I think that's like a sticking point for me. I don't really understand why like the streaming world has to have that malicious intent, but like a worker boss scenario doesn't really need to have that malicious intent. Can you try to bridge that for me?
So with I wouldn't necessarily call that malicious intent either, though. I don't.
But isn't that like griftiness kind of like malicious, because you're misleading people?
Sure.
Like I don't know why that needs to be an aspect of it. I don't know why, like, because
I would say the key difference between a boss and a worker situation here, and to be clear to anybody that's watching this, right? I am not a socialist, right? As much as my lovely wife would love me to be, I don't consider myself a socialist. But I think the issue is within our society. The reason that exploitation is inherent to the system is because a person's entire existence is predicated onto the level of job that they have, right? And so if a person is a janitor, let's say janitors, because janitors can sometimes get well paid depending on where they work. Let's say a fast food worker, because most fast food workers are not well paid. Let's say a person's a fast food worker. The fast food worker is making anywhere between $7.25 an hour, and in some places now $15 an hour, right, for an entry level job. Meanwhile, the franchise can make up to millions of dollars on an individual franchise, while that person that's working at that franchise is living in abject poverty.
Okay.
it's that, like, that distinction there. And now, if for me personally, if that person was making 15 to $20 an hour as a starting wage job, they wouldn't likely live in poverty in most of the country.
But isn't
So the level of exploitation there is basically, in my view, nil, because that person is able to, they would have, my whole thing is, if a person is working a job, that job should pay the cost of living in the area plus 10%. That's how I determine whether or not somebody is having their labor stolen from them, because you need the 10% to buttress against any kind of thing that is negative, so being unlucky, basically. And so that's the thing for me. It's more of the fact that while you are making all these millions upon millions of dollars, or whatever, even hundreds of thousands of dollars, and your workers are not able to even function well, not even well, but as a bare minimum in society, then that is where the issue comes into play.
Okay. So this, but it's like in that scenario you gave me, there's still malicious intent to exploit their workers, right?
No, because that wouldn't be, it's not malicious. That's just the way society is designed right now. So everybody could think that this is 100% the way it should be. Most conservatives would just like, well, they should just get a better job if they don't want to live in these conditions. They should have planned better. They should have went to school. They should go to school. There's options out there for people to go to school and be able to better themselves. Why aren't they taking it? Why are they doing this? Why do they have kids out of wedlock, et cetera, et cetera? There's nothing malicious in that. These people believe that's just how life should be done. And if that's there, then tough cookies.
But that would still be exploitation in your eyes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's still exploitation, but it's on a systemic level, not necessarily between directly a boss themselves and the worker, because this is how people believe society should function. So it's more of a social issue than that direct one-to-one thing.
Okay. And do we realize that like people enjoying drama is more of a social issue, and that it could still be exploitative even if people aren't malicious in the way they go about like farming that content and giving it to people?
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to budge on this, because I just can't see the same level of harm being done.
Well,
that's the primary problem.
Why does it have to be on the same level of harm for it to be exploitative?
Well, I would have to see the harm.
Really,
I said, there's in most of these situations, people are simply getting what they want, and what they want may not be good for them, but it is not on me to tell them what they should, and it's not on me to force them not to partake in a thing that isn't directly harmful to themselves or others in like a physical, even in most instances, mental sense.
Well, careful.
Now, there's some people,
because the situation is like, the conversation isn't should they or shouldn't they. The conversation, is it exploitive, right? It could be exploitive, which I think it is, and still not give a fuck if people partake in it, which I don't. I think it's fine. Like, and that was actually going to be part of my opening statement, was like, I don't care. I don't care if people. Maybe, you know what? I'll read my opening statement.
Yeah.
And I'll see. Yeah, and I'll see if you agree with it. Okay. So today I'll be defending the idea that streaming is exploitative to some degree, starting with the understanding of the word. When someone is exploitative, it means that a person is taking advantage of a situation or person selfishly to profit from or otherwise benefit. In a simpler way, it means that someone or something is benefiting more from a situation or person than the other people involved in that transaction. I believe streaming to be one of those industries that at its very core is exploitative at some point to all parties involved. The viewers are exploited for their time in the form of watching, potentially needless content for hours on end, money in the form of subs and donations, with no real benefit to them, and an emotional situation, all under the guise of parasocial relationships. I think streamers are as prone to being exploited by chat and other streamers. I would hope that most people agree that there are times on these platforms when one streamer's drama becomes a platform-wide sensation in which this person's life's problems are put on repeat for every other streamer to take advantage of. When it comes to things like subs and donations, I do not think streamers use language or donations. I do think streamers will use language that will make you feel like you are part of a larger picture when saying things like, "Oh, we are just 10 subs away from our sub goal," or "Oh, if we hit this goal, I will keep doing this for you." I think there are ways of trying to get people who might be hesitant to donate and sub on board with doing so.
often preying on that parasocial relationship. I think every streamer and chatter partakes in different actions on these platforms, so while I understand there will be different degrees of this, and even in some cases, which this rarely occurs, or isn't engaged in with malicious intent, I do think it is healthy to be honest with these topics and realize that streaming does have this exploitative nature to it. One last thing I would like to make clear is while I recognize that I want to discuss this with my fellow streamers, ironically enough, I also don't want this conversation to become focused solely on one or two streamers. I think this is a platform-wide issue that needs to be addressed. So,
okay, yeah, that's a really good. You should have opened with your opening statement.
Thank man.
We wouldn't have had conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wanted to try to understand
your opening statement.
Yeah, I wanted to try to understand you before I got all.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, I'll just read it later.
Okay.
I don't. You think okay? So you in your opening statement you said to more of the benefit than the person being quote unquote exploited. Is that
to the person being used, or the situation. Okay.
So would you say that there doesn't exist mutual benefit even if one person may come out more financially ahead than the other?
No, there's definitely mutual benefit. That's why I would still see like a worker boss scenario as exploitative, even though the worker is still benefiting by gaining money that they can use in a society. It's just that they might not be paid to what exactly their labor is worth. Right?
Okay, so this might be I'm going to look up directly the definition for exploitation.
Yeah, go ahead.
Only because I want to make sure that this isn't a semantic argument that we might be having, which I fear that it might be. Okay, so just Googling it really quick. Exploitation, the act or fact of treating someone unfairly in order to benefit from their work. The action of making use and benefiting from resources. So it sounds to me would you say that you're using definition 2?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Okay. And I was using definition 1.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
I mean
so
just to some
we can still have we should go ahead.
No, I was going to say to some degree it is number 2 too as well, right? Because some of that drama issue where I would call it active like emotional abuse to always dredge up somebody's drama repeatedly, like at least for like 3 days while everybody covers this stuff. I would call that probably definitely a form of emotional abuse to some degree.
And that in that instance, I will concede ground and I can consider that to be exploitation.
Beauty.
But I don't think that's what the majority of people are doing on Twitch.
Yeah.
Now in our circle on Twitch poll, it does seem that that's the case. I mean, I even shared a meme that said like there was the 3-person thing and like Twitch politics drama, Twitch watchers or whatever. But so I will concede that point and saying that if it's there is a difference though, right? So we can say if someone has a bad take and you're just talking about their bad take, is that really exploitation in the way that I would use it? Probably not.
Yeah.
Now, if that person has a bad take and then, from that bad take, it's been like a few days, people are starting to call them evil. And now you're calling them evil to drum up more support for your channel and getting money and stuff from that and watchers and stuff. That would be exploiting their situation to your benefit. And that would be negative to them. And so that would be a thing that I would exploitation.
Yeah.
Like hands down, that shouldn't happen. So I will concede that point.
Yeah.
I don't know if we actually disagree at this point, though. Do we?
No, I don't think so. Nope.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, and I understand like if
this is praxis, everybody.
Yeah,
everyone watching the chat. Look, this is actual practice in praxis in action.
Yeah, this is how it's done. No, I spent a lot of time thinking about this because I was like, well, and I even like I'll show my Word document on stream because I even had like a defense kind of written up as to like what some of like your arguments might be, because I was kind of like,
go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, because I was kind of curious, like, well, what would it be that people maybe not see exploitative about it? And I kind of saw like I could see like they're there on their own free will. I understand that. Like they're subbing as they kind of feel like they should. It's their favorite creators. They want to support, and then I can appreciate that. But I think to some degree, I don't know if you would agree or not that like everybody in society is really lacking that sense of community, like that feeling like you're a part of something more.
I would say that's at least especially true for the United States.
Yeah.
You're Canadian. If you're saying that it's true for people around you, then I would say at least for people in possibly many Western countries. But
Yeah.
I'm not sure why that would be the case.
Yeah.
Every country is going to have a different reason for that being the kind of thing, though.
Yeah, and I think what ends up happening is a lot of people want to feel that sense of community. They want to feel a part of something bigger than themselves, and I think like streaming kind of allows that really easily in the form of like kind of communicating in chat, being a part of Discord servers, and then I think what ends up happening is we kind of mind fuck ourselves into these really really awful parasocial areas that I kind of want to beat people out of.
No, that's so true though.
Yeah,
you're 100% right about that. And you've like, for anybody that's watching this, you've got to catch it when you're having it happen to yourself. And I know it's happened to me. I've went in and reflexively defended people that I personally like, because when I like somebody, I kind of identify with them. And so if they're getting attacked, then you think you're getting attacked in that situation too. This is just human condition kind of stuff, right? And you need to, every time you find yourself getting caught up in that sort of thing, take a step back, breathe, reassess the situation, try to steel man the other person's argument, and then go back and do it, rather than just you're stupid, send tweet. Like, don't do that stuff. Try not to anyways, because you're making it less likely that you're going to admit that you were wrong.
Yeah.
And then it's just going to cause more and more problems.
Well, and a big thing too, and it's kind of scary, is a lot of people will take positions to feel like a member of the community. Like you said, they'll want to defend something. They'll not really want to think about it. They won't really want to understand, because there is that clickiness. And I definitely think streamers benefit from that to a major degree, right? Arguably most media companies, especially social media, benefits from it. And I think, I said, I'm not here to like condemn what we do on these platforms. I enjoy it, right? What I more want to be is like honest and like recognizing that this thing kind of happens. One thing that I would think would be really cool would be to see a lot of bigger streamers push their community back into the real world. Set like community goals, like Kate today, like if anybody's trying to get outdoors more, let's try to set goals. Let's try to get like Discord people to help these people get out. Like if there's any way we can kind of push people out, I think that'd be dope, right? Like, okay, it's Sunday, guys. What have you done in your community today? If you're somebody that's
gotcha.
Yeah, so it'd be, I think things like that would be really neat. So
would you say so we're just riffing now.
Yeah.
Would you say that that what Vosh has done, where he has like encouraged people to like exercise or improve themselves and stuff, would meet your level of
that's
hey, this is good, not necessarily good enough, but
yeah, that's dope as fuck. That he's lost a lot of weight, which is good for him. And if that's motivating his community, I think that's awesome. Cool. And yeah, and seeing more stuff like that, and it could be, I'll be totally honest, maybe I missed a lot of it, right? It's entirely possible that it's all over Twitch. I mean, fuck, there's how many millions of fucking streamers on this platform? Like,
there's at least 2,395,452.
Yeah.
I'm not joking. I'm looking at the Twitch leaks. That's how many individual user IDs are in there.
Yeah, like that's crazy. Like, and it could be that it's more the norm than I'm realize. But from my obviously biased filter, I see a lot of negativity on the platform that it would just be nice to push away and have people better themselves. And even arguably some of these bigger gamer streamers, I don't know, I wanted to go through, I didn't get a chance to go through and look at the average view time of somebody like XQC or Soda Poppin' or stuff like that.
I don't know if that is actually public information.
No?
I tried to access some of it through the Twitch API, and it doesn't seem like all of that is accessible.
Because that would be interesting to see, because if you have like a large swath of people watching for, even honestly 2 hours, that's way too much. Like that's a lot. That's a long time.
There is no there. So the way that people consume Twitch, at least in our community, we all notice, is that they'll leave it on so that person will get views if they like that person, and then take the raid train all the way down to either get introduced to new people later or get like free subs or whatever. And so that metric is never going to be accurate. So I don't know how we could measure. I don't know if there's any way to actually measure actual attention. I'm sure Twitch does it anytime. That's probably why they put the little clicker for the points.
Oh yeah. So you can kind of
they might have like a mouse, like they probably might have a mouse like tracker or something, so they could track that stuff. But none of that information is going to be public.
Yeah, which sucks, because it'd be definitely interesting to see.
Like not even someone's gender is publicly available. You have to get, for all the apps that like measure gender and like anything else that's on Twitch. Each individual user of Twitch has to authorize that information to go to those people. So that's some of these websites that people use for either restreaming or anything that's like, hey, give us your Twitch login, like log in with Twitch or whatever. You're authorizing that application to get some of that data.
Oh, okay.
That you might not normally want to give out. So just FYI, everybody. But yeah, this is one of those things that I just learned in the last 4 or 5 days since the leak, because I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, I want to be able to analyze this stuff, so I gotta know what I can get, what's easy to get,
what you have access to.
Yeah.
I don't really know. I'm trying to look at my notes. I don't really know much else, because I think now at this point we probably
I think we probably have always mostly agreed, honestly, and it was kind of a semantic one, and I think our disagreement was probably shallow, and we're just, because we were talking in text over Twitter. We were probably just missing it, and that's all it was.
What do you think about what do you think about parasocial relationships? What's your?
I think parasocial relationships is something that we're never going to get out of. It's something that is part of the human condition entirely. But it's not even a sense of wanting to be part of something bigger than yourself. It could be as something as simple as, this is a person that I aspire to be, or they're doing something that I would really like to do. And so I want to follow them, and I want to get, notice me, senpai.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's the bigger part of it. Honestly, practicing stoicism might be a way for people to break out of that. But I'm fairly stoic, and even I get caught up in it sometimes, so I don't know.
It's
not a psychologist.
It's definitely hard not to. I think it would be it'd be neat to kind of like see bigger creators, even just creators in general, be like, kind of remind people that, like, at the end of the day, you really don't know who I am. Like, you see snippets of me on the internet, you see, like, I stream maybe an hour or two at a time. That's all you know of me. Like, the other 22 hours a day, you have no fucking clue who I am, what I do, what I partake in. Like, you only see the snapshots. And I do think it's really weird when we look at things like this and we watch people get so worked up over what is, like, really minutia fucking issues is sometimes really mind-boggling. Yeah, and I'm with you. I don't think you'll ever get rid of parasocial relationships. Like, for the most part, it is healthy to some degree, but I think, when it starts to get a little toxic, that's when you kind of have to rein in your community. But
what is this Balu person talking about? What's this up?
I don't know. I just like Twitch. I'm here to have a good background while playing Minecraft.
Well, no, Balu, what do we mean? What were you saying for that's a sad state of being?
I think,
and you put your face out there. What is this referring to exactly?
Was it to you being stoic? I think it might.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think stoic's not a bad thing to do. Like, if you're, and I mean, that's the biggest thing, is, like, I always tell people, if I had like 5-6 viewers and everybody else that came in went and did things in their community and like learned something from me and took it and made it a part of their everyday life and never came into chat again,
Right.
I'd be absolutely probably ecstatic. I don't care. I just want people to be better. That's all.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day.
I feel that a lot. I think for me, this is a natural evolution of my immense amount of time spent in debate communities on the internet since 2004. And I'm just late to the party because I'm always late to the party with these things.
Yeah, no, I get that. I've been slowly plugging along, making content. I mean, I see you stream quite a bit, so which is good. And you're going on the
I stream one. I'll say again.
I was gonna say, and you're going on the Hippy Dippy, so that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, the recruitment panel at least.
Yeah.
We'll see.
You excited?
At least it looks like there's actual conservatives on it this one.
Yeah. Are you excited? Nervous?
Yeah. I think I'll be good.
Yeah.
I think it'll be good. Yeah. I don't know if I should play up my character or if I should just be me though, because it's the Hippy Dippy, right?
It is the Hippy Dippy.
Kind of a character, except Connor. Connor's not a character.
Connor is not a character. He's the real deal. See, and I like that.
Yeah.
I definitely wish there was more of that kind of reality, because I think the other frustrating thing too is you have a lot of younger kids on this platform. Like when you look at the age groups that are on this platform, it consists of mainly younger people, and it's always frustrating when you see what are adults acting in kind of like that childish manner. That shit's frustrating as fuck, because then it just like you said, it just reinforces that I want to be in high school with all the cool kids and the fucking cliques, and yeah, it just makes it so fucking toxic. But
yeah, I don't. I'm gonna say something bad here against conservative Twitch poll.
Okay.
How can you play these characters that you're playing and at the same time maintain that kids are very prone to being manipulated or indoctrinated, and they shouldn't be exposed to the kind of things that you're doing while doing it on Twitch?
Because I
don't get it.
My guess is because they probably don't see their audience as kids, honestly.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I fuck, who? Oh, shit. I remember there was a debate where Destiny was talking to Coach Red Pill, and Coach Red Pill's like, all my audience is adults. And it's like, no, they're not.
No, they're not.
Yeah, he's like, no, they're not. And he's like, oh, yeah, they are. And he's like, I'm going to go get the age fucking demographics. And he comes back, and there was a sizable chunk. I want to say it was like, like one or two. I mean, not sizable, but there was definitely a chunk of them that was like under 18, and it was just really funny because he was just so confident that everybody watching him was over this age, and it's like, no, that's just absolutely not the fucking case. No. So,
especially on this platform, like,
yeah, maybe more towards on YouTube, but definitely not on this fucking platform. And even then, I mean, YouTube still has a pretty young audience from what I'm.
No, it does.
Yeah.
The youngest though is TikTok. So if you're wanting to expose your ideas to the youth, you gotta condense your entire political philosophy into a 1 minute video.
Oh Jesus!
Good luck.
Yeah, no shit.
You'll need it.
It's all the attention span they have. Even that, I gotta do 20 seconds. Okay, tax is good. Swipe.
Yep.
Hey, education good. Swipe. It's all the time you get. Oh fuck. Well, do you got anything else? I think we've reached the apex, and now we're slowly climbing back down the ladder.
No, I think like I'll just reiterate for people on the Twitch. I think some of this was semantics, and a part of it was maybe not necessarily thinking about, for me personally, thinking about the mental aspect of it too much. So we agree on what is exploitive.
Yeah.
We probably disagree about level of harm. I think would probably be sufficient, except for that, like the mental stuff, like when you're drama farming and calling somebody out for like 4 days or whatever. That's, especially if it's something personal, that's bad. We probably agree on the level of harm there. But like other stuff, like just shilling for dollars, like you probably think that's more harmful than I do. So
my only worry with the shilling, I guess, well, hang on, no, we're gonna come back. My only thing with the shilling for dollars is I worry that some people will donate things they don't have to feel like they're to get that interaction to like fuel that that parasocial relationship. And there is studies showing that the more that somebody interacts with the chat, the more likely that that bond is to be created. So yeah,
that's probably true, because everybody likes feeling seen, and if somebody doesn't have that in their real life, then that is probably going to happen more often on Twitch. Now, again, like under your definition that you stated that is exploitation, yes. Under what I say, no, not necessarily. So I think that's like the rub there, because not necessarily even if there's mutual benefit, but just because I don't feel like there might not even be the recognition that this is a social problem, let alone it being a direct exploitation. So
yeah, I can see that. Yeah, that'd be my only issue with the money. But yeah, other than that, no, I think we probably agree for the most part.
Yeah, I think we do. Like, and you know, again, anybody who's looking at this chat, like, these are the kind of things that we should be doing more on Twitch. So if you're wanting to do this, definitely talk to Critical Canadian more. Seriously, hit that follow button come out already.
True. Come on. I saw a couple there, so thank you to everybody that did. Yeah, and I enjoy these conversations. I try to do them as down to earth as I can, and I think I have one advantage, is I spend most of my life in the real world. Oh, Jesus. That's so loud. Jesus, we gotta get rid of that 90s one. Holy shit.
Wait, what? Oh, I have your stream muted. So
oh my god, I got 90s music. I totally forgot that was one of them. It does like the
oh. Is this a Twitch extension?
No. What I did is I went in and did a bunch of commands to so that I can do like sound effects and stuff. So like if somebody's taking forever, you can hit like 2 hours, and then it'll be.
Oh, and your moderators are fucking with you. Got it.
Yeah. And now they're all traumatized because they didn't know what it was gonna do. Fuck.
Balu, me personally, this is not how I pay bills. This is a hobby to me. And I do want it to be self-sufficient or self-sustaining, and I do have it as my whole thing is it okay if I shill myself a little bit?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, shill yourself out.
So Balu, I am Cypher from Crowdsourced Politics. Crowdsourced Politics is a podcast that was born out of a debate community on Facebook in 2018 or so. We've been podcasting for 2 years. For me personally, this is not how I make the majority of my money. In fact, I lose money on this. I've probably spent about $2,000 so far streaming and trying to market it and stuff like that. But this is Crowdsourced Politics is part of the Crowdsourced Tribune, where me and other admins of that group are trying to expand the group into something a bit more. Maybe a media organization, so to speak, a nonprofit media organization. But we're really just looking to like anything money that we get on Twitch or YouTube or wherever else we get money from, it just goes right back into the whole group and is done for things like contest prizes and things like that. So this is kind of our way to tamp down on the vitriol that happens within online public discourse for anything else. So yeah, this is podcasting for 2 years, streaming for about a year now.
Yeah, it's definitely not the first time we've chatted, and it was last time was a pleasure too, with independent thought there when you were doing your 24-hour stream. Yeah, it was actually a really good conversation.
Yeah, no, I loved it. I'm going to be doing another charity stream probably Christmas time.
Okay.
During that 2 weeks or so where everybody's on like holiday.
Yep.
And I don't know what money we're going to raise for, but this is something that we're going to try to do either once a quarter or once every other month.
Okay.
We haven't decided yet because it's a lot of work to do.
Yeah, no shit.
And if it wasn't for honestly, if it wasn't for Samantha Banana or Samantha Savage now,
Yeah.
it wouldn't have gone off because she helped me get everybody that ended up showing up. So
Based. Well, if you need somebody for panels or something, just let me know around that time. I'll definitely be off, and I'll have lots of time.
definitely,
So. All right, buddy.
definitely.
Well, thank you for the conversation. It was dope as fuck. And if you ever want to chat again, you let me know.
Always.
All right, buddy.
Take care, man.
Well,
Take care, buddy. Hell now, partner. If you enjoyed that content, why don't you hit that like and subscribe? And don't forget to follow on Twitter.